there, nerds. Welcome to what I'm going to call the adventures of Rainbolt and JP. Rainbolt probably has a different name for it, but that's what I'm calling it because that's awesome. Anyway, say hey, Rainbolt. What's going on, man?
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
So we just got through the pipeline some interesting news from Sony. You want to talk about it?
It's pretty official. They pretty much just scrapped the whole movie, the interview, amid all the scares and threats. But I had recently just received an email from one of our movie distributors that does the screenings for press and, different venues and stuff. And I was reading, going through the emails, and they were talking about how some of the movie theaters are canceling. And I just thought, well, surely it's not going to be all of them, maybe just one or two of the larger chains. And so they canceled our screener that was supposed to be for tonight. And then not even 3 minutes later, I got an email saying that Sony is completely scrapping the movie, the interview, and no December 25th opening. And they don't even know what they're going to do at this point. Have you read up on that at all?
Yeah, I was a little surprised. I got your email that you forwarded to me, and then almost as soon as I got your email, I got an email from our distributor here in Vegas, same information. And I was curious because I know it was Regal Cinemas, AMC. I'm sure there were others. I can't remember what they were. But we have an independent theater here. Yeah. We have an independent theater here called Brendan Theaters that was going to show the press screening. So I'm like, oh, holding out hope, wondering. Then I got that email, and like you, got the official email that Sony is pulling the picture, not going to show it. And I was wondering if they're going to do that. So I'm like, you know what? This is great buzz for those independent theaters. They can go about showing this film and be the only ones that have it. And you know everybody's going to flock to the theater now to see it.
Oh, you know it. Well, I mean, I'm sure that, movie theaters like our independent movie theater out here is Alamo Drafthouse, and these guys, they kind of walked against the current from day one. And, I haven't heard anything about them. I just don't think that Sony is going to distribute any copies. Yeah. I think it's really kind of not a – I think in the beginning what it was is Sony was like, yeah, we totally respect some of the theaters. If you guys don't want to show it, we understand. We stand by our movies, our filmmakers and their freedom of speech and all that stuff. But here we are. We got some of these major movie theaters like Cinemark and all these other big movie AMC, canceling. And I just assume that, maybe Alamo Drafthouse might show it, but I think Sony really kind of just capped it and said, this is it. We're not distributing to anybody, not even the independents.
And it's kind of curious because you have the hackers who, they annoyed me from the beginning because what they're doing is illegal. Whether they're North Korean, which obviously everybody's speculating now, or domestic or wherever they are, I mean, it's an illegal act and it's really annoying. They're cutting into not just the celebrity and all the information that's coming out, but just normal people like you and I, their information, payroll information, Social Security numbers, stuff like that. And that's pretty scary stuff. But it really comes down to I'm shocked that Sony did this if, in fact, it's North Korean, quote-unquote, terrorists threatening them, and if Sony has received more information than they're letting on why they pulled it, like more threats that we don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is so serious. They even had President Obama talking about it today in an interview in ABC News today. He was just saying that this is a cyber attack. This is attacking our sovereignty, and that they're going to investigate it. I mean, I don't. Granted, I don't know how much they're going to do, but I mean, we have some pretty big hackers that work for the United States, and I'm pretty sure they can figure out where these people are. But I mean, what is that going to do, really? I mean, now we just kind of look like that we can be bullied by these, by verbal and email threats, from these cyber attackers because they know our weak spots.
Well, that threw up another little flag. I was like wondering if, because Sony's a Japanese company and they're clearly closer to North Korea than the United States is, if that is something that is a big problem for Sony in this scenario. I mean, I don't think it's to this level, but if you look through history, Korea and Japan have had, some wars there over the centuries and don't really get along in some aspects. Now you're dealing with specifically North Korea, who is batshit crazy, if you ask me. I'm just curious if that had to do something with it because it's a Japanese company.
Yeah, here's another thing too, though. What if this was a big company like AT&T or just
a bank,
a bank or a big electrical company like PG&E or something like that? I mean, what if they shut down for days or weeks because of this stuff? I mean, I don't understand. It's frustrating as a consumer because we understand this is just a movie. If they made a movie about having to try to assassinate one of our presidents, yeah, okay, we have a lot of movies that way. We already have movies that they do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, we get the joke and they don't. So.
And I don't see it at this point. I kind of thought this might be the case earlier, but now that theaters are pulling out and Sony stopped it, in the back of my mind it was like, is this all marketing? Is this all press? Now that's what I'm saying. At this point, yeah, at this point I think it's gotten too far. But I mean, still in the back of my mind it's like, all right, Sony's going to blast out a video on demand possibility, and everybody's going to rush to see what the big hubbub is, and it's going to be pretty much nothing. But I just think it's gone too far to be. It can't be marketing. And Sony screwed up big time and didn't expect it to go to this level, and was like, whoops.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but there's just so many other aspects of this that we have to think about. I mean, is this kind of like a dry run for the North Koreans shutting down our grid, or Chinese shutting down our energy grid, or something like that, a banking system, or whatever? I don't know. It's frustrating. It's just frustrating for one that we as the Sony distributors and the Sony company itself are pretty much just kind of taking a knee, and it's silly. So I don't know, it bothers me.
It does me too. And the other thing that I think is funny, in a not really funny way, but an ironic way I guess you could say, is Sony got hacked, and several of their upcoming releases were stolen and released online, including Annie. Annie was the big name I recognized. Not that I was going to see it. But I don't remember if The Interview was one of those films that had been stolen and released anywhere. So it makes me laugh that, wait, they went to all this effort and got these other films, but they missed picking up the one that they really had a problem with?
Yeah, right. Like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and teach you. We're going to release Annie.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I don't think anybody's going to go see that anyway.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, there's so many movies out there that we can enjoy and not have to worry about it. Speaking of movies, you just told me that you finally went ahead and became, part of the normal society and went and finally saw Interstellar.
So I aspire to be you, Rainbolt, and by that I mean have a kid who's in their late teens that can watch themselves, so I can go see a movie. That's what I hope to have someday. I joke because I don't want my kids to grow up too soon. But
dude, they will be. Corey just got his license today too.
Oh man, I see your pictures with Corey and your daughter and your grandson. It's like, oh, man, too soon. Too soon. But anywho, yes, I finally did see Interstellar.
Good.
And my favorite Christopher Nolan movie is still The Prestige.
Get out of here.
I enjoyed it. It was just long. I would have liked to have taken a knife to it and cut some parts out. I love the science. I thought the science was phenomenal. One of the parts that stuck with me the most was when Matthew McConaughey goes into school to argue with Murph's teacher. And he's like, yeah, she brought in this book that has all the lies about our space exploration and landing on the moon. Here's our edited book, which is correct and shows that we were just in an arms race with Russia, and we really didn't land on the moon. It was all propaganda. It's like, whoa, I can see that totally happening.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love that. I mean, there's a lot of great parts in the movie, but that one stands out quite a bit. But some of it was a little bit predictable at the very beginning. Some of it was, kind of like you follow the breadcrumbs and you know exactly where you're going to go. But for what it is, I think that was probably one of the best explained movies as far as, Einstein's theory, relativity, and all that other stuff. I mean, for me, it was pretty cool. I'm not no scientist or anything. But
well, then I have the question for you, and it's been answered once in a way that I can kind of accept, although I don't like. Who was the first person then to give Matthew McConaughey and Murph the coordinates to get to NASA?
It was him.
Exactly. So this is my John Connor argument in that who sends Kyle Reese back the first time? Because Kyle Reese was sent back by John Connor. But if Kyle Reese doesn't go back, John Connor doesn't exist in the future in order to send back Kyle Reese. So who sends Kyle Reese back the first time? In this instance, who sends Matthew McConaughey and Murph the information? If it was Matthew McConaughey, the only way he got into space was discovering NASA with those coordinates. But if he's not given those coordinates, how does he get to NASA? Who's the first person that gave him that information?
Dude, it's the chicken and the egg. Don't question the goddamn movie.
Well, the one thing that I will accept, but not begrudgingly, was we're dealing with 5 dimensions, and the they that they talk about is us in the far future, and they're dealing where, like you said, gravity and time and all that stuff is relative. They aren't dealing with our timeline as Matthew McConaughey was in that one part with the 3 dimensions. So to them, time is far different.
That's right.
So he could exist on many. Don't say that's right. You're sitting there going, "Oh, thank God, I got out of that question."
Yep. I mean, for me, I think it's all about entertainment, but the entertainment value that Christopher Nolan did in this movie for me was right up there. I thought it's probably his best movie, and that's I love that movie. I mean, I love all his movies, but that was definitely up there in the top 5 movies in my list.
Was it not like a cavalcade of guest stars? I had no idea they were going to be in there. I'm like, Ellen Bernstein, John Lithgow, Topher Grace,
Topher Grace, he just
Wes Bentley, and I don't even know if I want to give away the one on the one planet where I'm like, holy crap, didn't know he was in the movie. That was shocking.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we can go into so much, I mean, look at Michael Caine. I mean, it's just amazing. To me, it was just one of those movies that when you walk away, it just makes you think even more. Oh, who saw it? Somebody, Neil deGrasse
Tyson, yeah.
Yeah, he saw it, and he says that is probably one movie that explains the theory of relativity the closest that he's ever seen. And I think it had a lot to do with when, without giving away plots and stuff like that, without giving away most of the movie plot, but it had to do with the planets that were closer to the black holes that were spinning at a different rate, and time was, well, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, it was great because it explains the theory of relativity and things that happen with, in 1 hour, it takes years in other places. So, yeah.
That reminded me of the scene in Aliens where Ripley comes back to Earth and her daughter, I can't remember if she passed away or she was just extremely old. I think she passed away because Ripley's been in space.
Sorry that your daughter just passed away or something like that.
Yeah, she's been in space so long. So then when you see, the torment that Matthew McConaughey is going through, and I'm sorry, I don't remember his character's name, but the torment he's going through after being on that water planet, where poor Wes Bentley, man, geez, but where he was on the water planet, and they were on there for what, 20 minutes? I can't remember. And then he comes back, and the old guy, the astronaut who stayed behind, had been on there for 23 years, and you're like,
yeah.
Damn,
I thought
sucks.
you never were back in 23 years.
Yeah, that was like.
So I have to rate it up there as probably, you know, I love Stanley Kubrick 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I think Nolan this kind of would be like the holy grail, you know, for me as far as space movies. So
I think that was part of my problem with it, and I've talked to other people, and yes, I understand why 2001 is such a classic. I hate that movie.
Oh my God, how can you hate Hal?
I know, seriously. Well, that was the one joke I liked in, not the one, but one of the things I liked about Interstellar was when Tars was joking, made a Hal reference back in the airlock, and I'm like, that's funny. I enjoy that. But I didn't like the space opera odes they were plentiful. They annoyed me, and because I know what Nolan was doing in reference to 2001, which I don't like. But like you said, you like it. A lot of people did like it. With that respect, I get it. The other thing I can't stand about Nolan, and I'm starting to catch on that he does this because there's a big problem with the Batman trilogy. He clearly doesn't like audio, because there were several times in that movie the music was way too high, and I could not understand what the people were saying.
Yeah,
and I was not the only one in the theater. And I was like, dude, Nolan, come on, man, I got to hear this stuff.
Yeah, that kind of stopped me from seeing the IMAX, because when you go see it in the IMAX, it's definitely a lot louder. And when I saw it in the regular theater the first time, I just thought, man, if I go into an IMAX, it's just going to kill me, and I'm not going to be into the movie as much as I am. So I actually avoided seeing it reason because of the audio.
That might have been the problem, because I saw it on IMAX. It was gorgeous, but yeah, it was tough to hear at certain parts. And being an audio guy, it was like, that's annoying. Stop it.
Yeah.
But no, like you said, I haven't stopped thinking about the movie. It's phenomenal. It's a thinker for sure.
Well, just wait till you see the other movie that I recently saw, which is the Exodus: Gods and Kings, which, you know, it was a great movie itself too, but there was a lot of parts in it where the audio just killed it.
Well, I thought you were boy Ridley Scott.
Oh, I love Ridley Scott, and it was the movie was fantastic, but there was just parts of the movie that were just just overbearing. You know what I mean?
I think I'll just pop in my copy of The Prince of Egypt and say I saw it.
No, because there's it's funny because my girlfriend, she's she's like a theologian, you know, she loves the history of religions, and she just like, she was, before the movie was even over, she was just like, oh, that didn't happen according to the Bible, and, you know, all this other stuff. And anyway, I just said, you know what, I just want to enjoy this movie because it's like an epic movie, and it's special effects, and I love all this stuff. And she's like, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, yeah, Moses never did that. And I'm just like, oh. And then she looks at me and she goes, is that Batman?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, that's Batman. And then she goes, also the same guy that played in American Psycho, right? I'm like, yeah, honey, that's the same guy. But
that's awesome.
Some of the actual movie stars in this movie, Exodus, Gods and Kings, were definitely miscast. I mean,
really?
there were, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I mean, you have everything from John Turturro to Sigourney Weaver and Aaron Paul of all people. And you know, it just, some of the people are just so miscast that I looked at it, I'm just thinking, my God, couldn't they have done somebody a little different?
That's
you
crazy.
know, it irritated me that there was a guy who, I don't know if you remember him. I believe he was in Trainspotting, and he was also in Black Hawk Down. His name is Ewan Bremer.
Are you kidding me right now?
No, I am not. Ewan Bremer.
Ewan McGregor, dude, come on.
No, not Ewan McGregor. Ewan Bremer. I know Ewan McGregor was in Black Hawk Down, but Ewan Bremer.
He was also in Trainspotting.
Right. He was also, both of them were in Trainspotting. And what it was is, I know you're just like, Ewan McGregor, you dumbass, but what it was is he he actually was in this movie. He plays he's a Scottish actor. Is he Scottish? I can't remember what he is. But yeah, he's a Scottish actor, and he played that guy. Oh God, what was his name in Trainspotting? He played the druggie Spud. If you remember Spud in the movie Trainspotting, not Renton, which was Ewan McGregor.
Was he the guy in Black Hawk Down who they shot the gun too close to his ear so he went deaf?
Exactly, yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah, because he's in Snatch as well. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Right. So, and he kind of has a different particular look to him, but they cast him as kind of like an expert of knowledge for Moses, Christian Bale, and what happened was when you saw him, you kind of think to yourself, wait a second, this is the guy that was in Black Hawk Down and Trainspotting and all these other movies, and it just miscast. I mean, and then they Mr. Sigourney Weaver, and John Turturro. I mean, it's just weird. Some of these actors and actresses just didn't seem like they belonged in this movie.
That is weird.
Yeah.
The one actor I did see in the trailer that wasn't the star, I don't think he's a star, who I thought would probably fit was Ben Kingsley. Did he do well?
Yeah, he did great. He was cast perfectly in this movie. I mean, it was great. But, for whatever reason, they didn't actually. He was only in the very first part of the movie and in the end of the movie, and it was very brief.
It was funny because Allison and I saw with the kids a press screening of Night at the Museum 3, which I highly recommend. If you are out there and you like the first two, go see this. It's fantastic. But it was funny, ironic. I don't want to give it away too much, but we saw Night at the Museum, and in it, Ben Kingsley plays a Roman god. He's Ra. And then we saw, and they talk about how they had a bunch of slaves, and they were Jews, and they loved those people. They were fantastic, and it was in jest. Night at the Museum is a comedy, so it was in jest. It was funny the way it played out. Then we see the preview screening for not screening, but just a trailer for Exodus a little later, and it looked like Ben Kingsley was now flip-flopped, and he was now a Jew, quote-unquote, slave. And I'm like, wow, that's so funny to see all that happen in one day.
Yeah. Yeah, I get to see that movie, but I like the first two. I like Ben Stiller. He's one of those underrated actors.
He definitely is, and there's they obviously didn't shoot it this way because Robin Williams was alive when the movie was filmed, but the way that his character goes out is beautiful and perfect, and it's a great ode to Robin Williams. So even if you're not a big fan of the series and you just want to see Robin Williams again, he's great in this movie, and the way he goes out, the way his interaction ends with Ben Stiller it's Robin Williams perfect. I really enjoyed that part. It actually brought a tear to my eye. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. I'll probably watch that here in the next couple of days. But I'll be on vacation.
We're going to brag about vacation. Look at you, man.
That's right.
You work harder than anybody I know. I'm not kidding.
I need a vacation. I've been needing a vacation for a long time. But the last time I took a vacation, I ended up going to see movies the whole time with my girlfriend's family. So I think this time around we're going to do a little driving and not see as many movies. We'll catch movies when we get back home when we have time.
Well, you should make a movie as you do the road trip.
Yeah.
Look at that.
No.
See? Comedy of errors.
Yeah, no. It's just going to be a stupid movie of me getting lost and my girlfriend yelling at me, calling her my mom.
Hey.
That's all it is.
Natural born killers, right?
That's right.
Well, we did want to give one more shout-out to Adam Smasher at Hero Complex Gallery. This dude is phenomenal. I finally got to meet him a couple months ago. Unfortunately, it wasn't a gallery opening or anything. But actually, that worked out better because I actually got to just sit down and talk to him. What an amazing guy. Rainbolt and I both have interacted with him. He's just a super nice dude, awesome guy. And I don't know your particular story, Rainbolt, but I know I went out my front door, I think it was Monday, and I had a poster tube. Totally unexpected. I hadn't bought anything, so I'm like, what the heck is this? Finally got a chance to open it, and I'd seen the pictures online of the How to Train Your Dragon poster by Patrick, is it Conan? Conan?
Conan.
I'm sorry.
I
he's
get
French.
that wrong.
Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know the proper pronunciation. I'm sorry, Patrick. But oh my gosh, open it up. Now my flat file flattening out. It is absolutely gorgeous. Just superb job.
Oh yeah. I wasn't expecting it, and I went to my mailbox like I normally do, and they're like, "Oh, we got another package for you." And just like you, it's like I didn't buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam had asked me for my address, and I'm thinking, oh, it's just a Christmas card, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a tube, and it's Patrick Conan.
Okay.
Conan. And sure enough, there he was. Adam had rolled up a How to Train Your Dragon print, which was absolutely stunning. And along with it was a nice little thank you note, and saying thank you for supporting Hero Complex Gallery. And man, I was floored. I had to actually send Adam a nice thank you. So,
yeah, it's cool because I don't know if many people know. We do now. I'm not saying other galleries haven't sent us stuff and thank you and all that, but we work really hard at Nerdlocker, posting and promoting things and artists and stuff, and we really do it as a hobby. I mean, it's fun for us. That's what we do. But at times we get really overwhelmed because we've got real jobs and we don't always get a chance to do it on time or the best we want, and it's really stressful at times. So to just get that in the mail as a thank you, it was like, oh wow, dude, somebody's noticing. Thank you. I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, and I saw the note that you left on the Hero Complex Facebook page. It was very nice and it was very well written. And dude, I mean, I feel the same way. So I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah, and I'll say here, I have actually supported Hero Complex Gallery, and by that meaning actually, I don't really buy many posters anymore. Rainbolt and I have been in it for a long time, and we have way too many posters to begin with, so buying new ones is sort of like, oh man, I don't know where to put this. But I have bought posters from them, specifically the Christopher Skinner Star Wars, which, big Star Wars fan, that's my drug. But to get that, I'm definitely a fan for life now. He won me over, not that I wasn't won over before, but I'm there. He needs me, I'm there.
Yep, definitely. So, yeah, big shout-out goes out to him, and, man, I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah.
Really,
so
really
it's, I believe they shortened it, so it's hcgart.com. Go check them out. They got a lot of great stuff, a lot of great artists on there, a lot of great works, and a lot of great themes that they've been running. So check them out. And if you're in the LA area, definitely go to the gallery. It's a lot of fun. Say hey to Adam. He's a great guy. His wife,
have
too,
a beer with the
awesome.
guy. Like beer.
Yeah, they tried to give us spinach beer because they had the leftover from the Popeye show, and I'm like, no, thank you. I think I'll pass. That might be fantastic, but it sounds awful.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, he's a stand-up guy.
Exactly. So, Rainbolt, anything else we have to talk about today?
That's it. That's it for me. I'm all movied out right now, so I'm just I got a lot to think about with the Sony thing, and then I definitely want to go check out the movie you were talking about, the Night at the Museum, and definitely if you get a chance, go see Exodus, and I'm glad we had a chance to chit chat a little bit about Interstellar, but that's about it for me.
Exactly. All the news that's fit to print. I'm sure that's not trademarked anywhere. So, nerds, let us know what you think. Hit us up. Give us comments, criticisms, everything you can possibly think of, and give us topics. We love ideas, so give us topics, and we'll talk about it next time. For now, like I said, this is the adventures of Rainbolt and JP. Have a nerdy week.